Forget zero-based budgeting. Forget the 50-30-20 rule. Forget the envelope system. If you've tried every budgeting method and nothing sticks, this is the video for you, because I'm going to show you the only budgeting method you'll ever need. It's simple, it's flexible, and it's finally built for real life, no matter what stage of wealth building you're in. This is a system I've used to help people move from paycheck to paycheck stress into budgeting that actually works and sticks. No guilt, no spreadsheets, no perfection required. Here's why most budgeting systems don't work. They're too complicated. They don't account for real life surprises. They leave zero room for you, your joy, your sanity. And they make you feel like you're failing if you don't follow the plan perfectly. You miss a line item, forget to track something, or life throws you a curveball and suddenly you're off the rails, restarting everything from scratch. Budgeting becomes a cycle of guilt, burnout, and starting over. And listen, I've been there. For years, I tried to follow every possible method out there, and every single time it fell apart. So I finally asked, what if the problem isn't me? Revolutionary idea. What if it's the system? That's when everything changed. So I created something simple, something that actually works no matter what stage of wealth building you're in. It's called the lifestyle budget method, and its foundation is the 3 budgeting buckets or categories, whichever is easier for you to visualize. And the reason it works, it's not about tracking every single dollar. It's about giving your money a purpose and your life some breathing room. So let's talk about these 3 buckets or categories. This first bucket is the foundation of the lifestyle budgeting framework. These are the costs that keep your life running, the non-negotiables that make up first your survival stage and later expenses that are beyond survival stage. Think of rent, mortgage, food, utilities, gas, basic medical needs, and minimum debt payments. If these bills don't get paid, things fall apart quickly. So we handle these first every single payday. But main expenses don't stop there. Once your survival costs are covered, you start to layer in additional expenses based on where you are financially. This is where the framework becomes flexible and personable. And the first layer to add is your freedom fund. Even if you're only putting in a small amount, it's the beginning of your safety net and your ability to handle life without relying on debt. Then as your income increases or your debt decreases, you can begin including lifestyle extras, things like a better phone plan, streaming services, gym memberships, therapy, coaching. They aren't essential for your survival, but they support your growth and your happiness in life. After that, you begin funding your purposeful savings, setting aside money for predictable but irregular expenses like car maintenance, home repairs, and annual bills. Eventually, you move from the growth stage into the freedom stage, and you'll be able to begin contributing to your future goals fund. And that's where you save for the big dreams like buying a home, starting a business, or planning a once-in-a-lifetime trip. So remember, this bucket grows with you. You don't need to fund every line item right away. You start with what's essential, and as you have more income flexibility, you begin layering in more of the life categories that are important to you. So now let's talk about the surprise costs bucket, because life doesn't always give you a heads up. These aren't things that are regular line items. They're things that just happen. It's the expenses that pop up out of nowhere. Something like your kid telling you at 8 o'clock at night that they need supplies for a science project that's due tomorrow, or a last minute birthday invite, or you dropped your safety glasses at work and they shattered, or maybe your boss is requiring you to attend an out-of-town conference where the hotel and conference costs are covered, but you have to buy your own meals. These are not emergencies. They're just scattered. They aren't predictable. They're just real. And if you don't have room for them in your budget, they can easily wreck your progress. That's why we give them their own bucket or their own category. Even a small buffer for surprise costs can make a huge difference. It keeps you from pulling from your emergency fund or putting it on a credit card. And it gives your budget the flexibility to live in the real world. Now let's talk about the third bucket, which is your sanity bucket. And this is one of my favorite parts of the entire budgeting framework. The sanity bucket is all about protecting your peace. It's not just about spending, it's about nourishing yourself. even when money is tight. This bucket is where you make space for the little things that bring you joy and comfort, or just a moment to breathe. It could be as simple as coffee from your favorite shop, a new book, a spa day, or a snack that hits the spot after a long week. And here's the most important part. It doesn't matter if you're in full survival mode. You still need to put something into your sanity bucket every payday, even if it's just $5, because burnout doesn't help you build wealth. Guilt-free joy is a part of your financial journey, and budgeting isn't just about the bills. It's about building a life that feels worth showing up for. So whether you're using your sanity money for small comforts or saving it up for a bigger treat, make sure it's in your plan. You deserve the space. You need that space. And your future self will thank you for keeping the lights on while you're working your way up. When you're just getting started, this is the foundation. These three buckets: the main category, the surprise costs, and your sanity. Then you build and grow your budget from there. That's it. So let's take a look at what this might actually look like in real life. Let's say you bring in about $2,200 for the month. Now, just a quick heads up, these numbers will definitely not match your real life costs exactly. I'm using simple, round numbers here to make the example easy to follow and easy to visualize. These amounts are just for illustration, and they're not meant to be a perfect budget. Your numbers will look different, and that's totally okay. Okay, so let's walk through budgeting this $2,200. First of all, you don't need to break it into 1,000 different categories. You just need to know where the money is going at a high level. And here's how that might break down using our three bucket system. So the main expenses, let's say we're going to put $1,600 in here. This is your foundation, covers the essentials, things you have to pay to keep life running: rent, mortgage, food, gas, utilities, transportation. Okay, so then let's put $150 into our surprise costs. These are the unexpected expenses that pop up out of nowhere that always seem to catch you off guard. Things like a school field trip, birthday gift, pest control, the speeding ticket that you got yesterday because you were rushing to work. You never know when something's going to show up and wreck your budget. But with this bucket, the surprise cost bucket, as part of your foundation, you're prepared no matter what. Next is your sanity money. Let's say we put $50 in there. This is your permission slip. It covers the things that support your peace, your well-being, and your joy. It might be a few $5 coffee shop days, a craft, a hobby, a quiet solo lunch, something to put in your shop, something that helps you not unravel at the end of the week. Even if it's just small, this bucket matters, because when you plan for moments that restore you, you don't have to blow up your whole budget to feel okay again. Okay, so after budgeting those three main buckets, let's say you still have about $400 left over. The first thing you want to do is put a portion of that into your freedom fund. Maybe that's $50, maybe it's $300. It all depends on your lifestyle, your goals, and what you know is coming up. After that, you can look at any other extras that you want to budget for, like maybe a streaming service, gym membership, discretionary spending that's part of your usual routine. And here's something important to remember. You don't have to hit zero to say that you've built a real budget. Your goal isn't to micromanage every penny. Your goal is to make sure the majority of your money has a purpose. Now let's talk about this idea of not budgeting to zero. Personally, I don't care if I get down to zero, just so most of my money is going to where I want it to go. I like to keep a little buffer in my checking account, and I just call it discretionary money. If it gets spent, that's fine. If it doesn't, that's fine. It's part of what keeps me from freaking out when I go shopping. And that's the best part of the system. It flexes to fit your life. If you do not like the idea of having a little extra left over after you finish your budget, then just look at what you've already budgeted for and determine where to put that extra. If getting down to zero isn't important to you, that's totally fine too. Just decide where the majority of your money is going to go. So let me give you a couple real life scenarios that might happen so you can decide where that money comes from. First scenario, your kid just remembered the field trip form that they got 2 weeks ago. They need $12 for the field trip. This would come from your surprise costs bucket. It's an emergency to them, but it definitely should not come from your freedom fund. When you set money aside in advance, there's no panic, just a simple yes. Scenario 2. Every single day this week, you've worked late, and tonight you're exhausted. You're starving and you don't feel like cooking. So what do? You pull money out of your sanity bucket for takeout. This isn't irresponsible. It's intentional. You planned for moments like this on purpose so you wouldn't sabotage your whole budget just because you're burned out. Scenario 3. Your phone bill is $25 higher this month than expected. Who knows what's going on with your phone company? If you have extra left over, like we talked about, it can come from there. Or if you've budgeted every dollar, then it'll come out of your surprise costs bucket. You'll want to review your bill to see if this is an increase or just something stupid that your phone company did this month. If it's an increase, then you want to adjust your main expenses for next month. Real life is not clean or perfectly predictable. Flexibility is the key, not punishment. So here's your challenge for today. On your next payday, take 5 minutes and just write this down. Main, surprise, sanity. You don't need a fancy spreadsheet. You don't need categories for everything. Just give your money direction before it disappears into chaos. Write it on a sticky note. Put it in your notes app. Say it out loud. No, that's not a good idea. Write it somewhere that you can see. The point is progress, not perfection. Try this for just one payday and then come back and leave a comment below and let me know if budgeting suddenly feels doable again. The 3 buckets or category budgeting system makes things so much easier. But if you're stuck in the paycheck to paycheck cycle, even the easiest budget can feel impossible. Watch this video next to start building breathing room into your finances. And of course, don't forget to join me again tomorrow for another day of the 30-day budgeting challenge. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.